Well, hello there. Here's a video how to do Bonds of Friendship, what most people seem to think is the hardest challenge in the game. You can counterfire this stump. By the way, just want to say that real quick. And I will use a safe build and I will have to build at the end of the video. The commentary will probably be not that great because some of these fights last a lot longer than that I have insightful things to say, but I will do my best and I will comment on all of these fights. And I think this is a really safe build because Cloud has the sword that has the perk that gives you a lot of MP back if you take damage, so you can heal a whole bunch. So you can screw up a ton and it doesn't matter because you can just out heal a lot. In this attempt, Bahamut won't do Giga Flare at all, but with this build I have like survived 2 Giga Flares before and it's a no problem. I have the MP to just re-raise those and still have spare to heal. So this is a really safe build for this challenge. It's not the fastest build, but it's a really safe one. The whole run takes about 30 minutes. In-game time, there are some builds that do this thing in like less than 15 minutes, but I feel like this way is much easier than those ways. And yeah, I guess I should be commenting on the Titan boss fight now. Titan, there's just... you can pretty much cheese it by just controlling the other character that's not being targeted by Titan. And every single time Titan starts targeting you, you just switch the character and play with the other one. That's how you can cheese a lot of boss fights in this game, to be honest. And here when you get the pressure high enough so it goes to stagger, you want to have 2 ATB bars on both of your characters ready to go. It's a long time in the pressure state, so you have time to do that. And when he goes to stagger, you can cast stop with Zac to give you some extra time. I cannot do this in one loop with this build, so I have to go for 2, but safety over speed, I guess. I can almost do it in one loop. I think if I executed this absolutely perfectly, I could maybe do it in one loop if I saved limit break after the stagger ends. So I could like stun lock Titan for just a little bit longer, because I'm pretty close to getting this on one loop even with this safe build. I think if I executed it absolutely perfectly, then maybe I could do that in one loop. But I have to go for a second loop. So this will take a while. And what general things to say is I'm using High Braver on Zac a lot and took a little bit of practice to get that timing right, but now I can just pretty much get it almost every single time correctly. It does a lot of damage. And with High Braver I'm not even trying to look at the square button that comes up, I'm just looking at Zac, and also I'm listening to a sound cue, because after you use a skill there is this sound like this sound every time you use a skill. And after that it's like 2 slashes, then press square. So I'm just looking at Zac. When he does 2 slashes, then I press square. And after that 3 slashes, and the last one is like a upward swing. And then I press the square again. So I'm not even trying to look at the square button, I'm just looking at Zac's sword swings. That's how I time High Braver. And honestly, I could maybe even pull it off without even looking with the sound cues. So that's one thing to know. Guess I haven't really been commenting on this Titan fight. I think this is the 4th hardest fight in this thing, even though it's the first boss. I think the harder ones are Odin, Bahamut and Alexander, and then this is like the fourth hardest. Well, just pretty much cheese it by just controlling the other character that's like not being targeted by Titan. That's how I cheese most of this fight. About to beat it here. Yeah, when he goes to pressure state, just farm ATPs for both characters. He's in this pressure state a long time. Off to the next fight. Which is the Thunder Bird Dragon Lizard thing. Hueyacoatl. In this one, headlong charge you can block in Punisher mode. Also the sweep thing you can block in Punisher mode to get some extra damage. And then the Thunder Spit, I don't remember the name right now, you can counter fire it. Probably do it soon-ish. And this is a pretty easy fight. When he does supercharged, he will counter you with that thing that CCs you. So if you don't want to be CC'd, just like hit it once or twice and move immediately. Or just spam the ranged attacks with Cloud. You spam the ranged attacks by rolling and then just tapping square a few times. And then just roll again before you tap too much. Full Lumen, that's the cast that you can counter fire. And yeah, with this build you can heal a bunch. I think one of the most OP perks in the game is the one that Cloud has in that sword. I think the sword's name was Slipstream something. Gives you a lot of MP back if you take damage. Like, I have used a few spells already and Cloud is full MP again. That's why I think this is like a super safe build. And this boss, when you get it to stagger, you can get it with one loop. Even with the safe build that I have, you can pretty easily get it with one loop. Just need to use stop to give some extra time. And I might have some silent moments every now and then, because there isn't that many insightful things to say in some of these fights. And here, just cast stop to give you the extra time to get it with one loop. And Zack didn't have like any ATB when I went to the stagger state. Did I even... Yeah, I don't get it in one loop here because Zack was at like 0 ATB. If both characters were to be in 2 ATBs, I could do that in one loop. Now it takes a little bit longer, but not much than that. I have the synergy skill and then I have limit break on Zack. And always when you use limit break, then just control the other character and get some free hits in. So limit break pretty much always stuns the bosses. The other character again. The other character can beat the boss meanwhile in peace. Always try to heal your character so they're above half HP when you go to the next fight, so you will be at full HP when the next fight starts. So you get 50% HP and MP back. Which undoubtedly you probably already know if you're this far into the game. The next fight was Phoenix. 98% sure. Yes. I watched some videos of other players beating this gauntlet, and in the comment section a lot of people seem to have trouble with Phoenix, which was really surprising to me, because I think this is like a total freebie. It's because Phoenix does a lot of fire damage and Cloud has the elemental materia equipped in armor linked to fire and ice, so all the fire attacks Phoenix does is actually gonna heal Cloud. So yeah, I think this is really easy actually. Just kill the Flan. As soon as it appears, Phoenix won't be taking almost any damage at all when there's the first few adds up. Afterwards, kill the bomb that spawns soon. Yeah, even the bomb does some fire damage that's gonna heal Cloud. Just mostly control Cloud here because the fire damage will just heal him. And that character you're not controlling is like auto blocking most of the time. So. And when this Grand Horn goes to the defensive stance, that it puts like arms like this or something. It's like guarding itself. Just use a high damage skill to get rid of the guard, like Braver for example. It will also pressure it at the same time. And when Phoenix goes to the pressure stage, just a couple of focus thrusts. And try to make sure that you're doing good on ATB with both characters when it's about to go to stagger stages. There we go, 2 ATBs on both characters. And this one I cannot do in one loop, but it doesn't matter that much. Because when Phoenix summons the adds, you can just ignore the adds. Rebirth Flame will kill Zack for me, like almost always. Let's actually see how much damage it does. On Zack, would he survive with full HP? It will heal Cloud. 6084. I think he has a little bit more than that if he's maxed health. Yeah, 6900. So if Zack is full health, he would actually survive that, but I just let him die pretty much always. And then if you have synergy skill, you should have synergy skill up by now. Just use it on Phoenix. Ignore the adds. And then limit breaks on Phoenix. Ignore the adds again. The fight will end when Phoenix dies. It doesn't matter if there's like 5 adds alive. They will just disappear along with the Phoenix. Yeah, this is a free fight. The next one, I think it was the demon thing. Get ready. Here you are, or I control Cloud immediately and immediately go to Punisher stand and block, because he will do that. He will charge Cloud like almost immediately. You can block most of his attacks with the Punisher mode. This is an easy boss, but it also can be really dangerous if you get low on HP, because he's kind of aggressive. And maybe I should have told how to quick charge with Zack. It's like 2 attacks and then you can quick charge when it's on blue. And when it's on yellow, sometimes you need to hit 3 attacks, sometimes it's 2. I'm not actually even sure how that works completely. But yeah, here's another one of those bosses that you just be on both sides of it with your 2 characters and just control whatever he's not targeting. And Cast stop on him when he's in stagger stage, and you can get him in one loop pretty easily. Well, not easily, you need to have like ATPs ready to go and execute high bravers. Yeah, one loop with the safe build. GG, on to the next one. Which one was it? Was it Kujata? Yes. Oh man, in this one I will run out of things to say. The commentary will not be that good, I promise you that. This is like a long fight and there isn't that much going on. Cloud has the elemental fire and ice equipped on armor. So what that means is he will heal through all the fire attacks and ice attacks. And only the thunder attacks and physicals can damage him. So this is a pretty easy fight, it just takes a long time. This is like the most annoying fight also if you haven't done this challenge yet, and when you're at this one and you're like, I just have to waste like, I don't know how long this takes, maybe 7 minutes or something. I just have to waste that amount of time again. Just doing this thing where it's not possible for me to die. I feel like I'm just wasting time here because it's so easy. It is possible to die to this one though. It's not like complete freebie if he does the thunder attacks a lot. But as most bosses, you can also cheese this one with pretty much just when you get aggro, control the other character. And after you use, checking my synergy here, one more thing with Cloud. And after you use your synergy skill, preferably have at least one ATP bar on Zac ready to go. So you can use Mana Wall on Zac. As we do. And that was a bit unfortunate. I wasted the ATP and the spell didn't go off. It's quite annoying when it happens. But yeah, the reason you need Mana Wall is when Kujata does 3 disaster move, you need to have Mana Wall up on Zac or he will die. I mean, even if he dies, that's not a big problem to be honest, just rest him. It can be a problem if Cloud is at like 0 ATPs. Then it can get a little bit dangerous. Yeah, the 3 disaster will damage Cloud, but he doesn't need a Mana Wall, he will survive. Zac will die if he doesn't have the magic resist spell on. And even now he goes quite low. Just make sure you're topped off and have Mana Wall on. I usually cast the Mana Wall after I use my first synergy skill. It should last all the way to the 3 disaster. Also, summon, you can only use one summon throughout the whole gauntlet, so you should save your summon to Bahamut or Odin. I have Phoenix equipped, so I can get re-raise without MP cost if I want. It's the safest summon Phoenix, costs 1 ATP bar also to cast, so it's not as dangerous to cast to begin with. And yeah, Kujata is like such a bullet sponge, or a sword sponge. This fight takes like way too long. Way too long. So long that I'm gonna open my drink. Yeah. Should probably skip to the next boss, to be honest. Nothing's gonna happen. Same thing all over again. Just control the character that's not being targeted and just beat him up. And if Cloud's being targeted and he does the fire spells, you don't need to dodge anything. Sometimes I can beat this boss with 1 3 disaster, sometimes he does it twice. Kinda depends, can I get the second stagger before the second 3 disaster or not. Here's a funny limit break. Didn't go quite as planned. That's like totally wasted. It's one of the reasons I had to go for 2 staggers. The mana wall again. Survive on Zac. Just farm ATP with Cloud. Get ready to heal. Do I actually have a level 2 limit break? Or was I mean 3, or was I still at 2? I'm at level 3. The next boss is at least a little bit more interesting than this one. There we go. And when this fight starts, just tap square immediately to get behind him, or in front of him, and then start circling behind him. In this fight you just mostly want to stay behind Ironclad. Beat his back. This will be another fight where I will not have insightful things to say. That much, and the fire lasts much longer than that, so when he does Firaga it will heal Cloud because of the materials I have equipped. And just, if he targets Cloud with Firaga, just try to stay far away enough from Zac so he doesn't splash damage Zac with the Firaga. And I didn't use my limit break here because I'm saving the limit break just in case he uses Kravika, so I can immunity myself through it. That's the most dangerous thing in this fight, that he uses Kraviga and then like does a sweeping hit with his hand or sword like immediately after. So your Kraviga takes you to one hit and then like sweeps afterwards. It's the only dangerous part in this. You can potentially die. Yeah, that's about the insightful things that I have to say on this one. Just circle behind him, save your limit break just in case Kraviga happens and immunity yourself through it. Pretty simple fight. Pretty easy fight. Actually died to this boss. One of my first like serious attempts to get this gauntlet done. This was my first death. He used Kraviga, I didn't have a limit break. Both of my characters were at 1 HP, then he did like some kind of a sweep. As I was casting Kuraga, and the sweep went off before the Kuraga, and both of my characters died at the same time. Also the Tatanosian blade, whatever that is, it does like a 360-degree splash also. It's not just the cone of the sword, it's also like a 360-degree splash, so you will be one shot if you're like meleeing him on the back when he does that. And if you have 2 ATBs on Zack and you are at like charge level 3, usually you want to go with Chain Slash first and after that High Braver. Because if you do High Braver first, you have 2 ATBs to work with, it takes your charge level back to 1. If you do Chain Slash first, then you stay at charge level 3. Then you can use High Braver afterwards. High Braver is a thing, it does more damage than Chain Slash, but if you're not comfortable using it, so you have to time the thing, then using Chain Slash is fine. This is fine. You should almost never use the, what was the name, meteor shots. Unless you want to like attack from range, it's just not worth it. The only reason to, in my opinion, the only reason to use meteor shots would be if you want to be at a safe range and use something. It's just Chain Slashes and High Braver is just higher damage. And onwards to Alexander. This is gonna be a shit show. I play really badly in this one, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, I guess Bravery on Cloud immediately. The idea was to pump up his limit break to do a lot of damage on this arm at the start. I should have just limit break immediately, I didn't. Then I used the limit break when he's swinging his arms around randomly, and the third hit of Crosslash doesn't even hit the arm. Like, this is bad. The wave cannon, you can counter fire it. I didn't do that either. This thing you can also counter fire. At least I did that right. Yeah, I'm using Reagan in almost every fight. I don't see a lot of other people using it. I find using Reagan helpful. Or is it Regen? Maybe it's Regen. Or Regen. I don't know. Probably Regen. Yeah, this is... I'm playing this quite badly, but... that's okay. Good enough. And when he does the light beams, I'm just gonna ignore those. Even if you were to get Divine Judgment off, if you have like 3 stacks because of the light beams, it doesn't really matter. Because you will survive it easily with Mana Wall. I think that was the first High Braver I screwed up in the run. That came with a bad moment as well. One High Braver will sometimes take the arm out like completely. There we go. At least I don't screw up the second one. And Alexander gets pressured when the arms are destroyed. Just a couple of focus thrusts. Get hit like an idiot and make your way back. A little bit of daydreaming here what to do. And that region, I should not have guessed that. I should have saved the ATB on the stagger stage. Infinity's Edge and not enough time for High Bravers. Got Chain Slashes first and then High Braver. Or I did have enough time, but then the High Braver doesn't go off because I just dropped the charge level 2. That is annoying when you have like half a second left in your previous command and then you press High Braver and then it doesn't go off because you dropped to different charge level. It's mildly annoying. Happens sometimes. Zack is still really fun to play. The High Bravering it feels so satisfying. Here you can roll through those lights. In this phase I usually just spam ranged attacks on Cloud, so I'm doing something. And I'm gonna ignore those light beams. I think it's better to just deal damage to the boss itself. And I can immunity through the spinning lights with the limit break. Here I get 3 stacks of those debuffs, so I didn't take out any of the light beams. I get 3 stacks. And another nice High Braver. Like, yeah, doing pretty badly in this fight. I don't even remember. Divine Judgment go off? Probably does. Yeah, it surely will. Cloud's Mana Wall is about to drop, and it did. Then I just go for the stagger instead of using Mana Walls. If you destroy an arm, it will interrupt Divine Judgment, but he will start casting it again. But Yeah, even if Divine Judgment were to go off, just cast Mana Walls and you'll be fine, even with 3 stacks. So that's why I think you shouldn't kill the light beams. It's a waste of time, and it's actually safer not to, because that way the boss won't do Divine Judgment twice. Like, you can do it twice if you just waste time doing those light beams and whatnot. And this is like the easiest boss in the whole gauntlet, and it's the 8th. I feel like the developers were like, okay, let's give the players a fight where they can get back to full MP before the last boss. Not the last, the last two boss fights. There's 2 things to know about this. When he disappears like that, just get away, spam dodge. That's one thing to know. The other thing to know is if he does the rocks, and then he does the, I don't remember the name of the cast afterwards. Telekinesis is the rocks. And if he goes for the second cast, you need to hide behind the rocks. Oh, he actually got to do it. Psychotic break. And this would be a good time to, with Zack, to charge his charge thing manually behind the rock, because you have nothing else to do. There. 2 notes about this fight. When he does the disappear thing, it's the spam dodge and get away. If he does the rock thing, hide behind a rock when the psychotic break cast is about to go. And this is the freest boss in the whole gauntlet. Freest of freeze. I think he will only get him to pressure states with the synergy skill. I think that's the only way. And totally killable within 1 loop. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I have done this boss a couple of times without it ever having even the chance to do the rock spell. So you will get like stun of Hyper, so I just happened to Hyper it at the right time, and he never does it. And Hyper feels so satisfying. Most satisfying skill in the game. And on to the last 2. I feel like this is where most people die on Bahamut. Here I mostly just control the other character that's not being targeted. Flame Breath you could actually counter fire, and the thruster spin you can counter fire that as well. If I was actually good at the game, I would probably do that, counter fire those. But I don't. Yeah, I should have probably saved some ATBs for the wings. And I usually don't even go for the wings on the first particle chance. I think here I actually try to go for them, but if you don't have a realistic chance to destroy the wings, then you shouldn't even try. If you don't have realistic chance to destroy them, just farm ATB. Don't try to hit those wonky hitboxes, just beat the main body. I have done this fight with this build without destroying a single wing and not getting a Giga Flare. So if you can destroy the wings, you should. If you cannot, you shouldn't even try. Because the hitboxes are bad. Here I go for re-raises. Just in case my re-raises won't go off in this fight. Because there won't be a Giga Flare at all. But I use the re-raises just in case. And if you walk into those floating purple, red, pink balls, if you walk into those you get a debuff. And when the debuff goes off it will explode a little bit of damage and it will like interrupt your casts. And here I didn't have a amazing ATP situation or Zack's charge limit, so I won't even try to get the wings. It's just better to beat the main body, because you're just wasting your time trying to hit those wonky hitboxes. Just wasting ATP. So like, yeah, just ignore the damn wings if you don't have a realistic chance of getting them. Thruster Spin, that I could counter-fire that again if I actually know how to play. I can't believe I somehow dodged that. But yeah. And now I actually have a good chance of getting the win, so I will... Firaga usually one-shots a wing from Zack. And Cloud has 2 ATPs, so even with my safe build, if I'm just properly equipped with ATP, just barely didn't one-shot the other wing with the Firaga. Yeah, even with the safe build, if I'm like properly have enough ATP, I can get the wings pretty easily. If I'm low on ATPs, I'm just gonna ignore them. I think that's the mistake people make the most, is that they are not doing good on ATP and they try to get the wings and they will just slash air. Not hit anything and then like waste like their 1 ATP on Braver or something, and then you're like low on health and you can't heal, and it can go bad real fast if you just waste all your ATPs and you don't even get the wings. So that's my biggest tip for this one. Ignore the wings unless you have a good chance of actually destroying them. And I destroyed the wings 1 time here, and I'm not getting a Giga Flare. Or did I actually get them another time? Also, often when you just go for the wings, your characters will just hit the main body. Yeah, I have done this fight without destroying a single wing. And not get a Giga Flare. And this is the safe build, this is not a super high damage build, so it's very much possible. Infernal Rush you can block in Punisher mode. And I think this is actually an easier boss than most people give it credit for. The trick is just ignoring the wings if you can't get them. Don't waste your ATPs. Yeah, I'm not sure I had that many good tips there, but... well... that's what I got. Then it's off to Odin. In Odin, immediately tap square when the fight begins. Just tap square to get on him. If you don't, he will throw his spear. which is annoying to block or dodge. So just tap square at the beginning. When he like runs away, triple slash is a good skill to get some pressure up. And you have to be aggressive on Odin, and you also have to dodge most of his skills, or you will get Sansesuken later. This is one of the best fights in the game. Sleipnir's Roar will do like a 160 degree small AoE, so you have to be away from him when he does that and focus thrust immediately after. Helm Cleaver, you can block that or you can get away from it. Charge, you have to keep your block up even if after the initial hit it will hit twice. So that when he charges, just keep the block up. Try to time the initial hit and then keep it up. Yeah, you try to use both characters a little bit so I can get my synergy skills going. Checking what do I need. I need one more with Zac. So I go for a regen with quick cast. And my synergy is up. And I think I go for synergy with Cloud here. The character you pick the synergy skill with, the other character will teleport that character. So check which one of your characters is at a better position and use the synergy skill with that character. After Odin uses a skill, you can use a skill right after. If you use at the same time, he will counter it. So you need to use after he uses, not at the same time. Use it at the same time, you will get screwed over every single time. Leaping Cleave gets ready to block the jump. And the distance in for me, I'm at like a close distance. But not too close, not too far, so he will never throw the spear. Spear is an annoying thing to block or touch. You have to have fast reflexes for that. And when he does this special distortion, immediately go to the middle and pause the game with going to the menus and see which is the safe side. Like immediately make your way to the middle and see which is the safe side. And when he's on the other side, use ranged attacks. And here I go for re-raises, even though I don't end up using any re-raise here. I don't even think I got the Galahorn warning on this playthrough. I used the re-raises just in case. I actually never used on Zac because it got interrupted and I just never recasted it. But a good thing to use just in case. I probably should use my summon because what am I saving it for at this point? I don't end up using it. Yeah. I think Odin is like one of the best designed fights in the game. I really like this fight. It's like there's the balancing act of dodging everything or blocking and you have to be aggressive. It's like I like the balancing act. And as time goes on, he will do more longer combos. Doesn't really matter since I pretty much deal with everything by just running away and spamming roll. So if the combo is longer, like so what? Just wait till the combo ends and attack afterwards. Wolf Hunter, he will jump, get Get ready to block that. Temporal imprisonment. Try to control sack if that happens. Here it goes off at the last possible second. Now he's so close to being staggered that I'm just gonna run away. I don't want to stagger him while Cloud is CC'd, and now he goes to the stagger while Cloud is CC'd because the block staggered it. That was a bit unfortunate. Here's gonna be a really cool moment. With two Bravers at the same time. That looked pretty cool, I have to admit. Odin about to go down. Sleipnir's Fury, 360 degree AoE and like attack right after. Should use Focus Thrust, but at this point he's so low that I don't need to. I use Meteor Shots just to get something out with Zack from a safe distance. I almost screw up at the very end of this fight. Cloud has re-raise, so I'm actually pretty safe here still. Here's a clutch block and finish it off with the synergy skill. This is a pretty cool ending too, like the last hit of the synergy skill finishes him off. There we go. And then I will show the build. Took me like 31 minutes. Yeah, 31 minutes, 34 seconds. Then we show the build. Safe build. Maximum efficiency with re-raise. Revival. Strength up. ATB assist. Skill master. Phoenix. Elemental materia paired up with fire and ice. And healing materia paired up with magnify. MP up. HP up. Steadfast block and precision defense focus material. And the most important thing is list attack damage 5%, stacker recovery, MP recovery rate up, and this last one is the most important trade-off. That's what makes this build kind of safe, because the trade-off, you can heal a bunch and you can cast 3 races a lot because you have so much MP to play with. So the trade-off is actually more safer than like reprives. So you have so much MP to play with. Well, that's about it for this video. Like it if you liked it. Keep an eye on the channel if you want to see more stuff. That's about it. That's all I got. Bye.